I'm Orion Wild, 29, raised on rusty strings and Tennessee thunder. Nashville in 2020 hums like a neon beehive. Drone cams drifting above Broadway, hologram boots kicking over bar doors, and 1,000 songs fighting the same sky. I rent a shoebox off Demon Brun with paper-thin walls and a view of a brick alley I've decided to call my river. It smells like fryer oil and second chances. Tonight is supposed to be the night everything turns. The CMA pre-show, televised, prime slot. The kind of slot my mama used to circle in ink on TV guides we don't print anymore. Jax Mercer, my fiancé and my manager, stands stage left, headset clipped under his jaw like a second mouth. He is handsome in a curated way, teeth like studio lights, hands that can soothe or sell. Breathe wild, he says, grinning, touching my shoulder like a coach and a lover in the same motion. The network wants clean, bright, no politics, no surprises. Clean, bright, no surprises. Got it. I smile back and pretend my stomach isn't a snare drum. Back at rehearsal, the band sits in a semicircle of LEDs. My Telecaster gleams like a coin at the bottom of a wishing well. We run back roads to Broadway, my breakout, the one I wrote in the hospital while my mother slept through morphine dreams. The bridge still makes my throat seize. I wrote it to survive. Jax paces with his tablet, swiping contracts I'm not supposed to see. That used to be our joke. I write, he reads, we rise. It worked until it didn't. At soundcheck, a production assistant hands me a laminated run of show. Something tiny and precise blinks near my song title. Courtesy, Blue Mesa Records. I blink back at it. Blue Mesa. Not my label. Not my anything. The words feel like a wrong key jammed into my throat. Hey, I ask the PA, keeping my voice bright. What's this courtesy tag? She shrugs, her badge clinking like wind chimes. Legal sent it over. Clearance language. Ask your manager? Ask your manager. My manager. My fiancé. The same man. The same heartbeat at my ear when we fall asleep. I stalk toward Jax, my boots punching small thunder into the plywood. He turns, reading my face before I get there. Baby, what's up? What is Blue Mesa Records? And why is my song courtesy of them? He doesn't flinch. He smiles like I just told a joke. Licensing housekeeping. Distribution partners swap courtesy tags all the time. Keeps the lawyers fed. Housekeeping. I swallow sand. Then show me, I say. Show me the housekeeping. He hesitates a fraction. It would be invisible if I didn't know him like a melody. After we go live, he says, don't clog your head. Trust me. Trust me. 2 words that used to hush the wolves. 2 words that now jangle like broken strings. He kisses my temple. It leaves a fingerprint I can't wipe off. I finish soundcheck with a smile that isn't mine. Every note tastes metallic. When the crew breaks, I follow the fiber optic cables to the hallway where business happens. The quiet corner with the locked Pelican cases and the bad coffee. Jax is there with a man I don't know. Steel hair, Blue Mesa lapel pin, blinking azure. The man's voice is low and amused. Final transfer executed on Tuesday. Catalog, likeness, and future masters. Nice work, Mr. Mercer. Welcome to the Mesa family. My pulse misfires. Future masters. Likeness. Those are not housekeeping words. I step backward and knock a drum case. Heads turn. Jax's jaw tightens. The blue-pinned man's smile is polite and shark-thin. Ms. Wild, he says, offering a hand. Rowan Pierce. I represent Blue Mesa. Represent. Rooms tilt. The air smells like ozone right before lightning splits a tree. I take his hand because I was raised to be polite even when I want to bite. Pleasure, I say, and my voice is made of paper. Funny, I've never signed with Blue Mesa. Rowan's eyes glitter, not with malice, but with the bored ease of someone who already got what he came for. Mr. Mercer handles your interests, he says. All perfectly standard. You'll see the benefits. My interests, I repeat very quietly. Handled. Jax moves between us, palms up, mediator pose. Baby, we're expanding the pie. It's a step. Blue Mesa fronts promotion and tour logistics. We keep majority on performance revenue. I stare at him like he has sprouted antlers. Did I sign something, I ask? Did I, Orion Wild, sign a contract with Blue Mesa? A beat. He smiles again, thinner. You authorized me. Remember the power of attorney addendum? I feel a cold hand close around my lungs. An addendum. My brain inventory flips through months of DocuSigns, midnight emails, last-minute venue riders. All the sign here to keep the train moving blur. Did he slide something in? Did I let him? He must see it on my face. He steps closer, voice dropping to the coaxing syrup he uses in negotiations and apologies. I've carried you, baby. I've protected the brand. This is how we get you arenas. We did this together. We did this. The word feels dirty in my mouth. I take back my hand like it touched an electric fence. Rowan's smile doesn't change. He checks his watch and fades away with the gravity of a man who knows the deal is notarized in the bones of the building. The hallway empties. Only the hum of power and the echo of my own heartbeat remain. I slide down the wall because standing seems arrogant. I press my palms into the concrete and try not to split open. Inside, a house catches fire. Every room labeled with memories. Our first show at the basement. Jack's whispering, "We'll do this right." My mama's rosary clicking in my pocket. My name, my stupid, beautiful name, painted on the head of a drum. I taste iron. Anger rises, bright and blinding. Then grief crashes over it, heavier. He didn't just sign a deal. He signed me. The girl who wrote lullabies for hospital rooms. The woman who pried her future loose one chorus at a time. He traded my signature for a check with his. Orion, I whisper to myself. Stand up. My legs feel like borrowed furniture. I stand anyway. I open my phone. Search. Power of attorney addendum. The PDF blinks to life, a fossil glowing on glass. I scroll, my thumb a metronome. There it is, tiny, tucked between audit clauses and parking vouchers. Language wide as a canyon. Authorize agent to negotiate, execute, and assign rights in connection with composition, master, likeness, and ancillary properties. I see my own e-signature at the bottom. Dated 2 months ago, 2:07 a.m. The memory arrives like a truck with no brakes. We were backstage in Tulsa. I was sick, voice smoked out, trying to fix a hotel booking and a merch shipment. Jack said, "Sign that. It's the venue addendum. I'll deal with penalties." I signed. I didn't read. Because I trusted him. Because I loved him. I lock the phone and stare at my reflection in the black glass of a road case. My mascara has made quiet tributaries. I look like a painting left in the rain. A stage manager pokes his head around the corner. 5 minutes, Orion. You're up after the ad block. 5 minutes. Less time than it took to lose my name. I walk back toward the stage, like a woman walking the aisle to a marriage she suddenly recognizes as a funeral. My band is tuning. The LED wall cycles stars across a digital desert. The crowd's roar comes in waves, big enough to knock you off your feet if you let it. Jax is waiting at the wing, headset gleaming, smile rebuilt. Ready to make history, he asks. Always, I say, and I mean it differently. He reaches for my shoulder. I step left. His hand closes on air. He looks confused for 1 second. Then the producer's red light begins to pulse, and the floor director counts down with wide fingers. 3, 2. I lift the guitar strap over my shoulder and feel the weight like a promise. I take one breath, the kind my vocal coach says puts the air under your ribs like scaffolding. I step onto the tape mark where the camera will find me. My song is loaded. My mic is live. In my pocket, my phone buzzes once. A new email. Subject line, finalized conveyance of masters, executed copy. From Rowan Pierce, Blue Mesa. Attached, a PDF named Orion Wild. All future masters, conveyance executed. PDF, the tally light on the main camera turns red, and the world inhales. I look into the lens and make a decision I can't undo. The crowd's roar rolls like thunder pressed through amplifiers. My throat is dry sandpaper. My hands are sweating, but the guitar strap feels like steel welded across my shoulders. And Jax is watching, always watching. He stands at stage left with that smile, his salesman smile, the one that closed sponsors and charmed gatekeepers. But tonight, it feels like a knife pressed against my ribs. The teleprompter blinks up lyrics, the ones I wrote years ago, before Betrayal, before Contracts. Words that were once a prayer, now branded with a Blue Mesa logo at the bottom of the feed. It's almost funny, they've stolen even the credits. I open my mouth and start the verse. My voice trembles on the first line, but steadies by the chorus. I see fans in the front row mouthing words back to me, their neon bracelets flickering like constellations. They have no idea that the song they sing belongs to a stranger's ledger now. And then it happens. I can't do it. Not the way they want me to. Halfway through the bridge, my fingers shift instinctively, sliding into chords that don't belong here. The band stumbles, confused. But I nod once, hard, and they follow me like soldiers who've learned to trust instinct over orders. The crowd hushes, sensing the break. Instead of the rehearsed bridge, I start something new. Raw, unpolished, mine. Signed away my name in the dark. Thought your love would leave a mark, but I'm more than lines on your page. More than chains dressed up as stage. The words bleed out of me like a confession I didn't know I was rehearsing. My band scrambles, but lands on a steady groove. The drummer catches on first, God bless him, and locks me in. Gasps ripple through the arena. Jax's face is stone, headset tilted, barking into a dead mic. He's trying to call the cut, trying to pull the plug. But the producer doesn't dare. The live feed is gold, too real to abandon. And me, I feel fire in my lungs instead of sand. For the first time, I'm singing not to please, not to sell, but to burn the truth into the walls of this room. Every lyric sharpens, every note is a blade. The crowd goes silent, drinking it in. Then, an eruption. They scream, they understand. I look straight into the main camera, the one that beams across America, and I speak, not sing. My name is Orion Wild, and I did not sign away my voice. The words hang, jagged, electric. Gasps, cheers, confusion. The floor director is panicking. Jax is livid, waving his arms like a drowning man. Security shifts at the edges of the stage. But the people, my people, are louder. They chant, my name, my truth. And I know in that moment, something irreversible has begun. I finish the improvised song with a final chord, sharp and defiant. I bow, not to Jax, not to Blue Mesa, but to the roaring crowd that has just witnessed me tear open the curtain. As the lights cut to commercial, two things happen at once. Jax storms toward me, headset flying, jaw tight. My phone buzzes in my pocket again. Another email, this time from an anonymous address. Subject line, you don't know the half of it. Attached, a video file. I freeze, guitar still humming against my chest. What else has he done? The guitar is still humming against my ribs when Jax grabs my arm. His grip is tight, fingers digging like handcuffs. He pulls me toward the backstage exit, where shadows swallow the sound of the crowd still chanting my name. What the hell was that, Orion? His voice is low, sharp, cutting through the chaos like a blade. That, I spit back, yanking free, was me singing the truth. Something you've clearly forgotten how to do. His jaw clenches. Do you have any idea what you've done? You just burned a multi-million-dollar deal on live TV. You burned it the moment you signed my soul away, I snap. My chest is heaving. My hands tremble, not from fear, but fury. Before he can reply, my phone buzzes again. That anonymous email. The video. I shove him aside, duck into a corner near the gear cases, and open it. The screen glows against the dark, and the first frame makes my stomach drop. It's Jax, sitting in a sleek office, glass walls overlooking downtown Nashville. Across from him, Rowan Pierce of Blue Mesa, the same steel-haired man from the hallway. The camera angle is low, shaky, secret footage. Someone hit a phone or recorder. Jax is laughing, my laugh, the one I used to love. Rowan says, you know this deal screws her, right? She won't recover. And Jax, my fiancé, my supposed protector, leans back, casual, confident. She'll recover just fine. She's tough. And when she finds out, she'll hate me, which is exactly what she needs. Rowan raises a brow. Needs? Jax smirks. The best songs are born from heartbreak. Orion's about to write me a gold mine. The words cut deeper than the contract ever could. I gasp. My hand flies to my mouth. He didn't just betray me for money. He orchestrated it. He wanted my pain. He thought my grief would profit him. My ears ring. The world tilts. Behind me, Jax is shouting at crew members, demanding answers, blaming them for the chaos on stage. He hasn't noticed I'm watching. I sink to the floor, the video still playing. Rowan chuckles. You're cold, Mercer. Jax raises a glass of whiskey and a mock toast. Cold makes hits. The video ends. My reflection stares back from the black screen. Eyes wide, mascara streaked. A woman at the edge of breaking. I clutch the phone like it's a weapon, because now it is. I know what I have to do. The world has already seen me refuse to be silent. Now they need to see the truth about the man who tried to script my heartbreak. I stand, sliding the phone into my jacket pocket, just as Jax turns toward me. His eyes narrow. What are you hiding? He demands. I smile, small and sharp. The last verse you'll ever write for me. His face drains of color. He knows. He doesn't know how much, but he knows. A producer rushes in, headset crackling. Orion, the network wants a backstage interview. Right now. Live. Perfect. I glance at Jax. For the first time, he looks afraid. And it feels like the first note of a brand new song. The hallway hums with cables and shouting crew members as I'm ushered toward the interview set. 2 cameras, 1 studio light, a couch dressed in fake leather. The interviewer, a young guy with gelled hair and a smile too wide to be real, is waiting. Orion Wild, everyone, he says as I step into frame. A fiery performance out there tonight. Care to tell us what that was about? I sit, smoothing the guitar across my lap like a shield. The crowd noise still bleeds faintly through the walls, pulsing like a heartbeat. I glance at Jax, standing just out of frame, headset dangling uselessly around his neck. His arms are crossed, jaw like stone. He thinks he can control this moment. But this time, the script is mine. I lean toward the mic. You want to know what that was about? It was about truth, about betrayal, and about not letting someone else decide what your voice is worth. The interviewer blinks, his smile twitching. He wasn't prepped for this. Betrayal? That's a heavy word. I smile, sharp, calm, not heavy, accurate. I pull out my phone. My thumb hovers over the video file. I could play it now. I could scorch him in real time. But timing matters. I need leverage, not just fire. So instead, I tilt the phone just enough for the camera to catch a glimpse of the paused frame. Jax, whiskey glass in hand, laughing with Rowan Pierce. The crew murmurs. The interviewer's eyes widen. The red recording light stays on. This, I say, tapping the screen, is a story for another night. But let me say this. I will never again let anyone write my verses for me. And when the truth comes out, and it will, you'll all see who's been holding the pen. A hush falls. The interviewer clears his throat, scrambling for a neutral question about my creative process. The moment has shifted. The control has shifted. I answer smoothly, but inside, my blood is drumming. The video in my pocket is dynamite. I just need the right stage to light the fuse. When the camera's cut, Jax storms toward me. His eyes are fire. What the hell do you think you're doing? He hisses. I stand, sling the guitar over my shoulder. Taking back my life. He grabs my wrist again, too tight. You think you can survive without me? You're nothing without my deals. I laugh, a sound I don't even recognize, raw and sharp. Funny, I thought I was nothing with them. I pull free. For a moment, the distance between us feels like the first real breath I've taken in years. But then, as I head down the corridor, my phone buzzes again. Another anonymous email. This one isn't a video, it's a single sentence. Meet me tomorrow, noon, Printer's Alley. I have proof he's done worse. I freeze, staring at the words. Proof. Worse. How deep does this betrayal go? Morning in Nashville feels different when your world is on fire. The sun is too bright, the air too sharp. Every sound like it's mocking you. I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, Jax's voice from that video came back, cold, calculated, using me like raw material for his profit. By sunrise, I wasn't even tired anymore. I was wired. At 11:45 a.m., I'm standing at the mouth of Printer's Alley. The historic brick walls close in, layered with murals of jazz ghosts and faded neon signs. Once, this was the heartbeat of secret music. Today, it feels like a confession booth. I pull up my hood, sunglasses on, trying not to be recognized. But even so, a few people stare, whispering. They saw the broadcast last night. My face is everywhere now. At exactly noon, a figure emerges from the shadowed corridor. A woman in her late 40s, denim jacket, guitar case strapped across her back. She moves with the kind of confidence that only comes from having been chewed up and spit out by the same industry. She stops in front of me. Orion Wild. I nod cautiously. Who's asking? She smiles, weary but warm. Name's Della Ray. I used to be where you are, and I've got something you need to see. We duck into a narrow bar with sticky floors and the smell of yesterday's whiskey still clinging to the air. Della orders coffee for both of us, black. No time for sweetness. She sets her guitar case on the table and opens it. Not to reveal a guitar, but folders, documents, contracts, printouts of emails. I was with Blue Mesa 10 years ago, she says. Rowan Pierce promised me the world. By the time I realized what I signed, my masters were gone. My likeness rights too. Same exact trick they pulled on you. I flipped through the pages, predatory clauses, hidden addendums. Familiar language, almost word for word from my own contract. They don't just want your music, Orion. They want your face, your story, your image. They'll milk it until there's nothing left. And Jax? She leans closer. He's their golden boy. You're not the first artist he's handed to them. You're just the first who fought back. My chest tightens. You're saying he's done this before? Della nods, sliding over a USB drive. Here, recordings, paper trails, proof. Blue Mesa covers their tracks, but I've been collecting pieces for years. Thought no one would ever have the guts to take them down. Then I saw you last night. The USB sits heavy in my palm. This isn't just my fight anymore. Why help me, I ask. She shrugs. Because watching you on that stage, singing your truth, I remembered the girl I used to be. I don't want you to end up like me. Silence hangs between us. The weight of her words is heavier than any chord I've ever strummed. Finally, I slip the drive into my pocket. Then let's burn them down. Her smile is tired, but fierce. That's the spirit. We leave the bar, but as I step back into the sunlight of Printer's Alley, my phone buzzes again. This time, it's a text from an unknown number. We know you met her. Stop digging, or the next headline won't be about your music. My stomach flips. A threat. Direct. I look up. Across the street, a black SUV idles with tinted windows, watching, waiting. The war has officially begun. The black SUV doesn't move. It just sits there, engine idling, like a predator waiting for me to make the first mistake. Della notices too. She stiffens, her jaw tightening. They're watching already, faster than I thought. I slip my phone back into my pocket, forcing my voice steady. What do they usually do? Her eyes are hard. Intimidation, threats, sometimes worse. Blue Mesa's got deep ties. Lawyers, press, even cops. They make people disappear, not in body, but in reputation. Careers vanish overnight. The words settle like ice in my chest. I glance at the SUV again. A window lowers just an inch, enough to flash a camera lens. A photograph. They're not killing me, not yet. They're documenting me, tracking. Della grabs my arm. We can't stand here. Come on. We cut through side streets until the hum of the SUV fades. Finally, we duck into an old rehearsal studio Della rents by the month. The walls are covered in peeling, soundproof foam, guitars leaning in the corners like tired soldiers. She locks the door. You've got two choices, Orion. Hide and pray this blows over, or fight. If you fight, you'll need allies. And you'll need to risk everything. I pace the room, fingers drumming my guitar case. My body is buzzing with nerves, but also something sharper, rage. I didn't crawl through every dive bar in Tennessee just to let them own me, I say. I fight. Della nods like she expected that. She pulls a worn notebook from her bag. This is a list of other artists they've screwed. Some won't talk, some will. But if we can get even a few to go public, Blue Mesa cracks. Names spill across the page. Singers, songwriters, even a producer or two. My heart aches reading them. So many stories like mine. Silenced, bought, betrayed. Then I see one name circled twice in red, Elena Cross. Della taps it. She was their biggest casualty. Sold out arenas, platinum records. Then she spoke out. Within a year, blacklisted. No radio, no tours, nothing. They erased her. Elena, I whisper. I grew up listening to her. Her voice taught me how to stretch a note until it broke your heart. She's still alive, Della says quietly. Living out by the lake. If you're serious about fighting, she's the one who'll tell you exactly how bad it gets. I nod slowly. My pulse quickens. Meeting Elena Cross would be like staring at my possible future. But before I can answer, my phone buzzes again. This time, it's not a text. It's a video call request. From Jax. My throat tightens. He never gives up, never lets silence sit. Always pulling the strings. Della watches me, waiting. Take it or ignore it. But if you answer, record everything. Men like him hang themselves with their own words. I stare at the screen. Jax's name, glowing like poison. My thumb hovers over the accept button. What does he want now? With one sharp breath, I hit accept. The screen flickers. His face fills it. Framed by city lights, rage simmering just under the surface. You've made a mistake, Orion, he says. A mistake you can't take back. Jax's face fills the screen, pixelated but sharp enough to slice me open. Behind him, I catch the gleam of a high-rise window. City lights pulsing like a heartbeat. You're finished, Orion, he hisses. You think one song and a stunt interview makes you untouchable? Blue Mesa owns you, and me, I own the rest. My jaw locks. You don't own me, you never did. He laughs, a bitter, hollow sound. Please, you signed the addendum. Every note you sing, every photo snapped, every shred of your name, it's tied to me. You walk, I cash in. You scream, I cash in louder. I grip the phone so hard my knuckles ache. That's not love, Jax. That's slavery. He leans closer to the camera, voice dropping. It's survival. I built you. I took the dive bars and barbed wire of Nashville and turned you into Orion Wild. Without me, you'd still be waiting tables. The words sting because once I believed them, but not anymore. You didn't build me, I whisper. You just branded me. He scowls, lips curling. Careful, Orion. Don't forget what I know. You think your little ally, Della, can protect you. She's already on our blacklist. One call and she's finished. One leak and so are you. Something shifts in me. Fear, yes, but something stronger too. Resolve. Funny thing, Jax, I say, holding the phone steady. I've been recording this whole call. For the first time, he falters. His smirk wavers. You're bluffing, he says. I tilt the screen to show the tiny red dot blinking, recording. Not anymore. His mask cracks. Rage floods in. You want war? Fine, but wars have casualties. Don't say I didn't warn you. The call cuts. The screen goes black, leaving only my reflection, wild-eyed, trembling, alive. Della exhales beside me. He just handed you ammo. I nod, sliding the saved recording into a secure folder. The video from last night, the documents from Della, and now Jax's own threats. It's becoming a weapon strong enough to pierce even Blue Mesa's armor. But weapons don't win wars alone. I'll need allies, witnesses, survivors like Elena Cross. I sling my guitar across my back. If they want a war, I say, I'll give them a concert they'll never forget. Della's smile is thin but proud. Then our next stop is Elena's lake house. We step out into the Nashville night. The SUV is gone, but I can feel eyes still on us, somewhere in the dark. The fight has only just begun. The drive out of the city is a slow exhale. Highway lights blur into a ribbon of memory. The skyline shrinks until only the radio and my breathing fill the car. Della drives like someone who has lost and learned how to steer through grief. We pull up to a narrow dirt lane, and at the end, a small house with a screened porch and a lake that looks like a black mirror. The place sits low to the earth, like someone trying to be humble after a lifetime of being loud. Elena Cross opens the door before we knock. She's smaller than her records made me believe, but her eyes are the same, those long, hurt crescendos you can't mistake. Her hair is gray at the temples. Her hands are calloused from playing, not polishing image boards. Orion, she says, voice rough but steady. Della told me you'd come. I step inside and the smell of coffee and old paper pulls me into a different century of music, one where souls mattered more than streams. We sit at a kitchen table patched with beer rings and cigarette burns. Elena pours coffee as if offering absolution. She doesn't ask for proof first. She watches me like someone trying to decide whether to hand over a razor. You did what I couldn't, she says finally. You didn't play small. My chest tightens. I didn't mean to start anything. Jax. My voice breaks. The room folds inward. Elena slides a battered laptop toward me. You need to see what happened to me. She presses play. There's a grainy clip of a late-night award show, a host's voice, a montage of my idol's rise. Then a slow pivot, a smear article, a falsified quote, a PR handoff. The footage shows how quickly the industry can drown out a woman who speaks. She pauses the video and looks at me real hard. They took my masters, they bought my silence, they paid for the airwaves to ghost me. I spoke, I burned bridges. I survived, but at a price. They erased my career. Her hands tremble. I reach and take them anyway. Her skin is warm, stubborn. Why help me, I ask. The lake outside holds its breath. Elena's laugh is a small, sad thing. Because the next generation shouldn't have to learn by getting cut. You have something I lost. Connection. People still see you as you, alive, imperfect. We can use that. She lays out a stack of contacts. A legendary music attorney who retired and hates corrupt labels. An investigative reporter with a grudge against corporate music. a tech-savvy friend who can mirror servers and keep backups in real time. This isn't pretty, Elena warns. It's coordinated. They have lawyers, money, police favors. They'll try to gaslight, smear, and intimidate. Della clicks through a list of names and dates she's been compiling. Instances where Blue Mesa used the same playbook. Unmarked lawsuits, bogus rights claims, behind-the-scenes payments to radio and review outlets. It's a map of pattern and intent. We talk strategy, short, explosive disclosures across multiple platforms at once. A synchronized release, the video of Jax and Rowan, the executed conveyance PDFs, testimonies from artist Blue Mesa silenced, and Elena's own account. Then, a live event, not a press conference, but a performance where thousands of fans and independent journalists are witnesses. Not just social media theater, but legal and public pressure working at the same time. If we time it right, the reporter's contact said on a clipped voicemail Elena plays. You hit them in the morning feed across AP, Rolling Stone, bite-sized clips on socials, then local stations. When their spokespeople answer, the facts are already seeded. Elena's eyes are hard. We stage the concert at an independent venue. No corporate ties, no buy-in. We stream everywhere. We make it impossible to bury. We argue until the night draws a curtain, each point hammered with the weight of what we might lose. The USBs, the recorded call, screenshots, notarized statements. Everything must be duplicated, mirrored, and distributed across secure nodes. Elena insists on a chain of custody, physical backups in 3 different jurisdictions. At midnight, we rehearse the narrative. Short, precise, unassailable statements. Names, dates, receipts. Not melodrama, documentation. The music is the hook. My voice tells the story, but the documents do the legal work. We set a date, 2 weeks out. Enough time to recruit a few brave allies, notify the one journalist who owes Elena a favor, and line up a venue with enough people to make a single headline look small. At 2 a.m., as I pack the last folder into my bag, the laptop on Elena's table pings. A tiny notification slides across the screen. Remote access detected. We freeze. The room goes suddenly small. Della leans over the laptop, fingers flying. They're probing our backups, she says, trying to see what we've got. Her voice is tight. If they find it, they'll wipe it. Or worse, plant something for contingency. I feel the old nausea, like catching the train before the tracks end. Elena's face is stone. She moves to a drawer and brings out an old, battered acoustic. Runs her fingers across the strings like a prayer. We lock it down, she says. Immediate, encrypt, mirror, scatter. No one touches a file except on an air-gapped machine. Then we go public. My hands shake not from fear, but from the raw adrenaline of it all. The plan, the stakes, the truth about to be hurled into light. We work until our eyes burn. We copy, we encrypt, we mail dead drops of data to secure P.O. boxes, and we set 10 different alarms on different phones. The house is a hive of whispers and cables. Just as dawn bleeds gray across the lake, someone knocks on the front door. 3 sharp raps. Not tentative, deliberate. Elena tenses, listening. Who is it? She calls, voice flat, practiced. A voice returns, smooth and unfamiliar. Miss Cross, it's Rowan Pierce. We need to speak. My blood runs colder than the lake. We look at each other for a half second. The kind of look that summarizes war. Elena exhales, stands. She moves to the door and opens it an inch. A silhouette fills the frame, tall, impeccable suit. The kind of posture taught in boardrooms where reputations are made and buried. Behind him, too close for coincidence, an SUV idles at the end of the drive. I taste iron, the morning has teeth. Elena's hand tightens the edge of the door. This is him, she says, very calm. Get ready. The silhouette smiles, slow, easy, utterly certain of the world. Rowan Pierce steps inside like the house already belongs to him. His cologne hits first, sharp, expensive, designed to remind you who has power. Elena doesn't move from the doorway, though. Her stance is steady, her eyes locked on him like steel strings pulled taut. You weren't invited, she says flatly. Rowan smiles, teeth precise as piano keys. No, but sometimes the most important conversations don't wait for invitations. He looks past her, to me. Orion Wild, the girl of the hour. You've caused quite a stir. My spine stiffens, but I don't flinch. Funny, I thought I was just singing. Don't downplay yourself, he says, strolling further in. You've triggered panic in boardrooms. Cost shareholders a few million already. You have no idea the size of the hornet's nest you've kicked. Della steps forward, fists tight at her sides. She has every idea, and we've got proof. Rowan chuckles, almost warmly. Proof, such a lovely word. But proof without protection is just suicide dressed up as courage. He lays a sleek folder on Elena's table. The same table where we'd planned their downfall hours before. Inside is an offer. Blue Mesa will buy out your catalog, past, present, and future, for a figure higher than anything you've seen. They'll let you perform, let you tour, even give you a veneer of control. In return, you drop this crusade. Quietly, gracefully, everyone walks away richer. My stomach turns. His voice is too smooth, too casual, as if he's offering me a glass of water instead of a gilded cage. I stare at the folder but don't touch it, and if I don't, his smile fades just a fraction. Then your allies disappear. The press stops answering your calls. Sponsors vanish. Your name becomes inconvenient. Elena's voice cuts through. That's exactly what you did to me. Rowan tilts his head, studying her like a forgotten chess piece. And yet, you're alive, comfortable even. Don't paint survival as defeat, Elena. It's just compromise. The room feels smaller, oxygen thin. My heart is pounding so hard I wonder if he can hear it. I finally push the folder back toward him. I didn't fight my way here to sell my voice. I'd rather burn than be owned. For the first time, Rowan's composure cracks, barely, but enough. His jaw tightens and his eyes sharpen. You're young, he says coldly. Youth mistakes fire for immortality, but fire burns out, quickly. He leans closer, voice a whisper meant only for me. Jax was right, you know. Heartbreak does make good songs. Let's just hope yours isn't a requiem. He straightens, picks up the folder, and smooths his jacket like nothing happened. I'll give you 48 hours, then Blue Mesa stops being polite. He leaves. The SUV engine growls outside, then fades into the morning. The silence he leaves behind is heavier than his presence. Elena exhales slowly. Now you've seen the face of it. There's no middle ground, Orion. Either you let them own you, or you fight until they can't. My hands tremble, but when I clench them into fists, they finally steady. I fight. And this time, the words don't just belong to me. They belong to all of us. 48 hours pass like storm clouds rolling over Nashville. Everywhere I go, I feel the shadow of Blue Mesa. Suits in the lobby, black SUVs at stoplights, reporters circling with questions sharpened into knives. But this time, we're not hiding. Della, Elena, and I file into the courthouse with folders pressed to our chests like armor. The building smells of marble and old secrets. My boots echo against the floor, loud, defiant. Across the aisle, Jack sits at Blue Mesa's table, jaw tight, suit tailored, smirk rebuilt. Rowan pierces beside him, whispering into his ear like the devil dictating scripture. When the judge enters, the air changes. Phones lower, pens pause. The gavel cracks like a gunshot. This court will hear Wild versus Mercer and Blue Mesa records. My name, Wild, rings out in the chamber, heavier than any stadium cheer. Our attorney, a silver-haired woman Elena called in from retirement, rises. Your Honor, this is not merely a case of contract breach. This is theft of identity, fraud, and coercion on a scale designed to silence artists and strip them of their humanity. Her voice is steel. Every word lands like a chord struck true. The defense counters smoothly, their lawyer spinning tales of misunderstanding, of authorizations, of business as usual. They flash my e-signature on the screen, enlarged, undeniable. I swallow hard. It feels like being erased in real time. But then our attorney cues the first exhibit, the video of Jax and Rowan, his laugh, his toast, his words about my heartbreak being his gold mine. The courtroom ripples with gasps. The judge's brow furrows. Jack squirms in his chair, but Rowan just watches me, lips curved in that same snake smile. Then comes the second exhibit. The recorded call from 2 nights ago. His threats, his ownership claims, his admission that he could destroy Della with one phone call. The defense tries to object, but the judge silences them. The recording plays in full. My voice is steady, his is venom. The contrast is undeniable. By the time it ends, Jax isn't smirking anymore. His face is pale, his jaw slack. Rowan leans over to whisper something, but Jax doesn't move. He looks broken, like he finally realizes the stage he built is collapsing under his feet. The judge calls a recess. The gavel cracks again. Outside, the courthouse steps swarm with cameras. Reporters shout my name, questions flying. Is it true Blue Mesa forged contracts? Do you have more evidence? What's next for your career? I raise my chin, voice clear, cutting through the chaos. This isn't just my story. This is about every artist they buried, and we're not finished. The crowd roars. For once, the noise feels like wings instead of chains. But as we push through the flashing bulbs, I catch sight of Rowan at the bottom of the steps. He's calm, hands in his pockets, smile untouched. He mouths 2 words at me. Not over. And I know the courtroom is only the beginning. The courthouse recess stretches into hours. Outside, the air feels charged, like a storm that refuses to break. Cameras still flash. Anchors speak into mics, and hashtags crawl across every phone screen. Inside, I sit in a cramped side room with Della and Elena. Our attorney paces the carpet, muttering legal jargon that sounds like another language but feels like war chants. I can't sit still. My hands drum restless patterns on the table. What if Rowan's right? What if they bury me anyway? Elena's gaze cuts sharp. That's what they want you to think. Fear is their first weapon. Della adds, softer. You already lit the match, Orion. They can't shove the fire back into the box. The door creaks. A young clerk slips in with a sealed envelope, eyes darting nervously. This was just delivered for Ms. Wild. I take it, heart pounding. The envelope is plain, unmarked. Inside, photographs. Of me. Taken in the last 24 hours, leaving the courthouse, meeting Della in Printer's Alley, sitting in Elena's kitchen. Every angle is perfect. Too perfect. At the bottom, a note scrawled in clean ink. Step off this stage, or you won't leave it alive. My throat closes. The photos tremble in my grip. Elena curses under her breath, snatching one. This is escalation. They're done playing polite. Our attorney frowns, but her eyes are fire. Good. Now it's intimidation on record. This strengthens our case. But to me, it feels like a chokehold. I shove the photos back into the envelope, palms sweating. When we reconvene, the courtroom is sharper, colder. Rowan sits straighter, Jax looks hollow. Their lawyer smirks as though he knows a secret. Then it happens. Midway through testimony, a man bursts through the gallery doors, balding, nervous, clutching a folder to his chest. Security moves to stop him, but he shouts, I have evidence. Evidence against Blue Mesa. Gasps ripple. The judge bangs the gavel, demanding order. The man identifies himself as a former financial officer at Blue Mesa. His hands shake as he places the folder on the bench. Inside, internal memos, payment ledgers, offshore accounts tied to artist royalties siphoned away. It's a bomb dropped in the middle of their fortress. The judge orders the evidence to be reviewed, and Rowan's mask slips for the first time. His jaw tightens, fingers tapping on the desk. Beside him, Jax looks smaller than ever, sweat pooling at his collar, eyes darting like a cornered animal. The cracks in their armor are showing, and I realize something I hadn't before. This isn't just my revenge anymore. It's a reckoning. The courthouse feels different after the financial officer's testimony. What was once their fortress now feels like a cracked shell, fragile under the weight of truth. During recess, we huddle in a corner of the hallway. Reporters swarm, their cameras snapping like insects drawn to blood. Our attorney shoos them off long enough for us to breathe. Della whispers, That man, do you think he's genuine? I nod slowly. His hands were shaking too much for it to be a stunt. He's terrified, but he still came. Elena leans against the wall, arms crossed, voice low. He won't be the last. They've silenced too many for too long. Once one speaks, the rest smell freedom. I want to believe her, I really do. But the envelope in my bag, the threat, the photos, still feels like a stone pressing against my ribs. Our attorney pulls me aside. Listen, Orion. What you did on stage, that started something bigger than one lawsuit. Artists are watching. If you keep this up, you could spark a movement. But understand, movements paint targets. Are you ready for that? My throat is tight, but my voice is steady. I've been a target since the day Jax forged that paper. If my fight gives someone else courage, then I can live with the bullseye. She studies me for a long moment, then nods. Then we lean in. I'll reach out to the press. But you, use your stage. Sing. Speak. That's where your power cuts deepest. Back in the courtroom, Rowan sits stiff, his jaw locked like iron. Jax is unraveling, twitching at every sound, sweat pooling at his collar. The cracks between them widen with every minute. Then, during cross-examination, something unexpected happens. The financial officer reveals that some of the siphoned money wasn't just lining pockets. It was funding hush agreements. Artists were paid to disappear quietly, and one of those names? Elena Cross. The gallery gasps. Elena's face hardens. She stands, fists clenched. That's a lie. I never took their money. The officer's voice wavers. Not directly. They funneled it through shell companies, claiming you'd agreed. On paper, it looks like you were paid to walk away. Shock ripples. Rowan's smirk returns like a ghost. He knows what this means. Doubt, confusion. The easiest way to break a case. Elena trembles, her eyes flicking toward me, silently asking, "Will you still believe me?" I reach across the table, take her hand in mine, and squeeze. Loud enough for the whole court, I say, "We know the truth, and no paper trick will bury it again." The judge bangs the gavel, demanding order, but the damage is done. Blue Mesa's schemes are exposed in layers, even if they try to twist them. When court adjourns for the day, we step outside into a mob of flashing cameras. And this time, we aren't alone. A line of young musicians waits on the courthouse steps. Guitars slung over shoulders, notebooks clutched in hands, faces fierce and trembling. One girl steps forward, barely 19, her voice shaky but clear. "We're here because of you, Orion. We want to testify. We want to fight too." My breath catches. The movement Elena promised is already beginning. But in the corner of my eye, I see Rowan watching from across the plaza. His smile is gone, but his eyes gleam with something darker. This war has just drawn blood. The courthouse plaza hums with tension. The young musicians stand shoulder to shoulder, their guitars like shields, their notebooks like banners. Their faces are pale, but their eyes burn with something I recognize: the hunger for freedom. I step toward them. "You don't have to do this," I say softly. One girl shakes her head. "Neither did you, but you did. And now we can." Her words land heavier than any verdict. For years, artists whispered behind closed doors, warning each other about contracts, about men like Rowan and Jax. But whispers never changed anything. Now the whispers are rising into shouts. That night, we gather in Elena's lake house again. The table is covered with files, coffee cups, and cables running to Della's laptop. The young musicians sit scattered across the room, sharing their own stories. Stolen songs, unpaid royalties, silenced voices. Each testimony is a scar. Each scar is proof. We record them all: video, audio, sworn statements. We build a library of pain that Blue Mesa can't erase. Elena leans back, voice tired but proud. "This is bigger than us now. Orion, you're the spark. But this," she gestures to the others, "this is the fire." I glance at my phone. The threat envelope is still there, tucked into my bag. Every photo of me, every word promising I won't walk away alive. Fear coils tight in my stomach. But when I look at the faces around me, it loosens. If they want to silence me, they'll have to silence all of us. We set a date for the live concert exposé. 2 weeks feels like forever and no time at all. An independent venue agrees to host, and Elena's tech contact ensures live stream backups across multiple servers. Still, Rowan's shadow lingers. Every SUV feels like his. Every flicker of static on my phone feels like his hand reaching in. 3 nights before the concert, I wake to the sound of glass shattering. Della is already up, flashlight in hand. Elena grabs a bat from behind the door. We creep into the living room. A rock lies on the floor, shards of glass around it. Attached to the rock is a note. "Last chance. End it or we will." No signature, no need. Della's face is pale but hard. They're desperate. Elena growls, voice low. Good, desperation means they're scared. I bend down, pick up the rock, and clutch it in my hand. The jagged edge bites my palm, grounding me in the moment. They want me broken, but all they've done is sharpen me. "This ends on stage," I whisper, "where it started." And in that vow, I feel the silence of 1,000 artists finally begin to break. The 2 weeks crawl forward with claws. Every day feels like balancing on the edge of a blade, too sharp to rest, too dangerous to turn back. But the fire keeps spreading. More artists come forward. Some show up at Elena's house with folders, old contracts, voice recordings. Others send anonymous messages, encrypted emails, shaky phone videos. The story grows bigger than any of us imagined. Our attorney works sleepless nights, building a case that no judge can ignore. The journalist Elena once trusted prepares a feature story, timed to hit the airwaves the same morning as our concert. It's no longer just a performance, it's an ambush. The venue is an old warehouse turned indie stage on the east side of Nashville. Its walls still carry graffiti from the 90s, and the wooden floorboards creak like they're alive. Perfect, raw, untouchable by Blue Mesa's branding machines. Fans line up days before, words spreading through whispers, leaks, and hashtags. Sing for truth. By the morning of, the line curls around the block. Reporters hover like moths around a bonfire, unsure whether to cover it or fear it. Backstage, I pace in circles, guitar slung across my shoulder, heart pounding like a war drum. Della checks the live stream feed, ensuring backup servers are ready. Elena tunes her guitar quietly, her eyes far away but fierce. "You ready?" Della asks. I shake my head, then laugh softly. "No, but I'm going anyway." She smiles. That's the only way anyone ever is. Minutes before showtime, my phone buzzes again. Another message. This one is just a video clip. Jax, sitting alone in a hotel room, staring at the camera. He looks broken. His eyes are red. His face drawn. "Orion," his voice cracks. "You don't understand. They're going to destroy me if you do this. I thought I was saving us, but I was just feeding them. Please, don't light this fuse." I pause, the weight of his words pressing down on me. Once, I loved him. Once, he held my future in his hands. Now he's just another casualty of the monster he fed. I set the phone down. No reply. When the stage manager calls my name, the roar of the crowd rolls like thunder. The warehouse lights dim, the cameras blink red, and the world holds its breath. I step into the glow of the spotlight. Thousands of eyes lock onto me. The first strum of my guitar echoes like the crack of lightning. "This is for everyone who's ever been silenced," I say into the mic. "Tonight, we sing the truth." The crowd erupts. Livestream numbers climb, tens of thousands, then hundreds. Journalists tweet in real time. The story is alive. I launch into the first song. Raw, unfiltered, no studio gloss. Every lyric a blade, every chord a scar. Behind me, the projector flashes documents, contracts, video clips. Jax's laughter, Rowan's threats, the financial officer's ledgers. It's no longer just music, it's evidence. The audience gasps, shouts, cries. Some raise fists, others wipe tears. Across the globe, people tune in, spreading the message like wildfire. And then, mid-performance, the power flickers. The screens go black, the mic cuts out. Gasps ripple through the venue. Della leaps to the sideboard, yanking cables. Elena's voice cuts sharp. "Backup, switch to backup now." For a breath, the silence is terrifying. Blue Mesa is striking back. Then, one by one, the backup feeds snap online. The mic buzzes alive. The projector blazes again. The crowd roars louder than before, fury feeding them. I grip the mic, sweat on my brow, fire in my chest. "Nice try," I shout. "But you can't mute us anymore." The chant begins, low, steady, growing. Truth, truth, truth. The warehouse shakes with it. And in the shadows at the back of the venue, I spot him. Rowan Pierce, standing still, hands in his pockets, watching the movement he tried to strangle turn into something he can't contain. For the first time, I see fear flicker across his face. The chant shakes the walls. Truth, truth, truth. It rises like a hymn, like thunder rolling from 1,000 voices. For the first time, I feel the sound is bigger than me, bigger than any of us. The live stream numbers spike past 500,000. Comments pour in from around the world. Expose them. We stand with Orion. Artists deserve freedom. Backstage, Della signals, green lights across the server board. We're stable. They can't shut us down now. Elena steps beside me on stage, guitar slung low. She strums a chord, rough and raw, and the crowd cheers her name. For the first time in decades, Elena Cross is back where she belongs, center stage, unbroken. I lean into the mic. They tried to silence us. Tonight, we answer. We dive into a duet, her gravel and my fire. The lyrics cut open the story. Forged contracts, stolen royalties, betrayal dressed as love. Behind us, the projector rolls through exhibits. Scanned contracts, bank ledgers, the recording of Jax's threats. Then the screen flickers and shifts to a live feed. The audience gasps. On screen, Jax. Not in a hotel this time, but standing outside the venue, security lights glaring down on him. He looks ruined, but desperate. "Orion, stop this," he shouts into a reporter's mic. "You don't know what you're doing. You'll ruin me. You'll ruin us all." The crowd boos, but something in his face makes me pause. He isn't smug anymore. He's terrified. Then Rowan steps into the shot beside him, calm as stone. He takes the mic from Jax's hand. "This is slander," Rowan declares. "This so-called evidence is fabricated. Blue Mesa has lawyers ready to pursue every last person spreading these lies. Orion Wild will be finished by sunrise." The audience erupts, some shouting in rage, others gasping in fear. Cameras flash. The war is now live, undeniable. I grip the mic tighter. My voice shakes but doesn't break. "You think you can kill the truth with lawsuits? With threats? Look around you, Rowan. Look at them." I sweep my arm toward the crowd. Thousands stand, fists raised, voices roaring again. "Truth, truth, truth." The warehouse becomes a volcano. The sound blasts through the live stream, unstoppable. For the first time, Rowan's mask slips, just for a heartbeat. His eyes dart to the cameras, realizing this moment can't be erased, can't be buried. Jax stands frozen beside him, caught between shame and fear. He looks at me on screen, and for a split second, I think I see regret. The music surges. Elena and I crash into the final chorus, our voices braided like fire and stone. The projector flashes one last image. Every artist's name who came forward, scrolling like a memorial and a manifesto. The crowd chants their names. Tears burn my eyes. When the last chord fades, silence falls heavy and electric. Then, an eruption louder than anything before. Cheers, sobs, fists pounding the air. We've done it. The truth is out. The world has seen. But even as the crowd roars, I spot Rowan at the back, retreating through the doors. He's already plotting his counterstrike. And I know this firestorm is only the beginning of the blaze. The concert ends, but the fire doesn't. By dawn, clips flood every corner of the internet. News anchors replay Jax's words, Rowan's threats, the scroll of artist names. Hashtags ignite. Hausik sing for truth. Hasi, Orion Wild. Kwasifpao, free the music. Blue Mesa's PR machine scrambles. They release statements calling me a liar, calling the evidence deep fakes. But the tide has already turned. Journalists dig deeper, uncovering offshore accounts, fraudulent clauses, and intimidation tactics. By noon, the Attorney General announces a formal investigation. By evening, shareholders begin to dump Blue Mesa stock. The empire is bleeding. I sit on Elena's porch overlooking the lake, guitar resting on my knee. Della brings me coffee, her eyes exhausted but glowing. "You realize what you did?" she asks. I shake my head slowly. What we did. Elena steps out, her voice rasping but proud. "You lit the match. Don't ever forget that." But victory feels strange. Hollow even. The threats still echo in my chest. Rowan isn't gone. He's regrouping. And Jax. Jax is silent. Too silent. 2 days later, news breaks. Jax checked himself into rehab. His lawyer says he's seeking redemption. I don't know whether to believe it. Part of me aches, remembering the boy who once carried my guitar case and swore the world was ours. Another part of me knows forgiveness doesn't mean return. As for Rowan, he vanishes from public view. No press, no sightings, only whispers. Some say he fled overseas. Others say he's still pulling strings in the dark. But the movement doesn't stop. More artists step forward, emboldened. Independent labels form alliances. Lawsuits multiply. The industry begins to crack open, light spilling through. On the night the investigation officially expands to federal courts, I walk back onto a stage. This time, not in defiance, but in freedom. The warehouse is packed again, but the energy is different. Hope, not fear. I strum the opening chord and smile at the crowd. This isn't just my song anymore. It's ours. The cheer that rises feels like a sunrise. And in that moment, I finally understand. Revenge was never the destination. Truth was. I look out into the sea of faces. Young, old, broken, healed. And I feel the lesson settle deep. You can steal someone's song. You can steal their stage. But you can't kill a voice once it becomes a chorus. My name is Orion Wild. They tried to bury me, but I became the fire.